Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So today I want to talk about my new net worth goal that I want to chase and just share what that is and why my mindset is behind that goal. So I have achieved my net worth goal of over $6 million by the age of 34 years old. It's currently worth $6.2 million, and the $5 million of my net worth is from real estate. $1.2 million is from stocks, index funds, universal life insurance, and just cash that I'm holding. So for me, in 2013, I chose my net worth goal of about $6 million because in my mind, if you take the 4% rule of $6 million, that's $240,000 a year, and that's equivalent to 2 pharmacist salaries back then. So at the time when I set this goal, I thought it was a big, hairy, audacious goal. I was 23 years old, just graduated pharmacy school with $250,000 of student debt. So the idea of making $6 million seemed impossible, seemed insurmountable. And I just thought, hey, if I hit that by like 50 years old, I can retire early. I thought 50 was an early age to retire because most people retire in their 60s. My mom actually retired in her 50 after working at the county for like her whole life. So for me, I was like, okay, if I can get a $6 million nest egg by then, I could basically live out that 4% rule and then retire early. So for me, fast forward to today, 11 years later, I hit my goal at 34 years old and 16 years early. So in retrospect, I set the goal too low because I underestimated how much I can grow, how much I can develop, and how my skills would compound. So for me, I felt like I kind of hit the goal pretty easily without really trying. In retrospect, yes, there was like a year, 2013 2023 was my hard year where I kind of hit rock bottom with my mobile home park. But despite that $100,000 loss, despite that stress of the mobile home park, renovating my 26 unit, my 20 unit, and all that, I learned, I developed, I gained a lot of clarity, and I exponentially grew and hit my goal, right? So in retrospect, like I set the goal too low because I underestimated my intellect, I underestimated my focus, I underestimated my discipline. So now my new goal is going to be $50 million in 10 years. So by the age of, let's say, 45. And I set that as a goal because if you were to take the rule of 72 and let's just say assuming a 7 to 10% return on my money is going to double every 10 years, right? So I'm worth $6 million today. So let's say I'm 35 for simplicity. So at 35, I'm worth $6 million. By the time I'm 45, that's $12 million. When it's 55, that's $24 million. When I am 65, that's about $50 million. So if I do absolutely nothing, by $65, I'll be worth $50 million, which is my net worth goal. But I want to set that to be 45. So I want to set it for a 10-year goal. But my caveat is that I want to do this without being stressed. That's the kicker, right? And you might be thinking, like, I'm thinking too, like, how is that possible? Like, building a high net worth is stressful, right? And it requires a level of stress. But my constraint I'm setting on myself is because I'm chasing a goal. Like I know when I chase this $50 million net worth, I'm just chasing a number. I just made it up today. Just like how I made up $6 million a long time ago. But to me, what brings me the most joy and fulfillment is pushing myself and seeing how far I can get. Like it's okay if I don't hit 50 million by 45. I'll eventually hit it by 65, right? It just will, or I'll hit it later. It just will take longer, right? But I can at least set a goal. So I have something to aim towards, right? Like a general direction to go into, but I'm going to do it in a way that's stress-free and not burning myself out in the process. So those are the constraints I set on myself, right? And like I said, I don't really care about the money. It's just seeing what I can achieve at this point, right? And because I like playing the game of making money. Like I think I legitimately enjoy that. And I know people are going to call me greedy and whatever, but like for me, that just it's fun to push myself and see what I'm capable of with constraints, right? With constraints of I want to do this and like basically have a life, right? Have work-life balance and not be stressed. So what does that look like for me? Basically to me, that looks like just continue doing what I'm already doing, right? How did I get to $6 million net worth? I bought single-family homes and multifamily homes. So I already have a system for both of those, right? I have a system to buy new builds in Huntsville, Alabama every single year if I want to for around $300,000, right? Like they're always building there. I always have access to those deals. I can always buy it. right? So it just really depends on what my interest rate is. If interest rates are lower, obviously it's a little better to buy versus right now when interest rates are like 8%, not as ideal. So that's kind of one part. And I just can like buy a bunch of those and let those appreciate over time, right? I can also continue on top of that to buy a value-add apartment complex, right? And for me, my current comfort level of apartments is maybe just one project at a time. I think when I was doing 3, I was really stressed out, right? And because I was new to it and great, but then like I think once you have like 3 projects going on, you have diluted attention so that for me it was diluted, so like I couldn't keep track of my expenses as well because I'm like, wait, is the money for this mobile home park, is it for my 20 unit, is it for my 26 unit? And I was like dropping the ball on like minor finances, right? So I think for me, 1 unit, it could be like 50 units or whatever, but I'd rather have, instead of like a 20, 26 and a mobile home park, I'd rather just had one big apartment, right? And that would have been easier because I just could allocate my time and energy for one apartment complex. So that's the lesson that I learned is, well, instead of doing a 20 unit, a 26 unit, and a 40 unit mobile home park, maybe just buy one 100 unit apartment complex, which I can spend all my time and energy towards, and you have the economies of scale. So for me, I would probably just do one apartment complex on the bigger end, or it depends on what I come across, but like I think my sweet spot would probably be like 40 to 50 units ideally, but it depends what I can get a good deal on, right? I'm not going to pass up a good deal if it's a 20 unit, but like ideally 40, 50 units, and I can do one of those every 2 years, right? Because it'd take me 2 years to like renovate it and stabilize it and focus on it, and while all my time, energy, and attention is focused on that, which is more active, I can allocate the rest of my time and energy, whatever is surplus, to buying more new builds, single family homes, as well as investing in index funds. Because to me, that requires a lot less of my time and energy, right? Like if I were to buy a new build, it's easy. Like what's the down payment? What's the interest rate? Does it cash flow or not? What's the rent going to be? Quickly underwrite it. You can buy the deal, and I just need to sign paperwork, right? Get lending and all that stuff. That's probably the annoying part, right? But I can do that simultaneously of doing my apartment complex, right? So for me, I'd only want to do one apartment complex at a time. Hey, unless I'm no more W-2 and I can juggle it. But, like I said, the moment I'm at that phase, I'm probably gonna have kids, I'm gonna have a family. So I want to allocate times towards them and, prioritize, kids because they grow fast, family and all that. So like, I think I can healthfully be very involved in my kid's life and ironically manage like a 50 unit apartment complex value add deal and still buy index funds and, new build single family homes, assuming I have all this capital, right? This is assuming that I have capital. Right now, my limiting factor is capital, admittingly. I am looking in the future to do private money lending. To find private money lenders where I'll pay them an interest rate so that I can use other people's money, right? Because I find deals that cash flow enough to support me paying somebody 10% interest on their money, right? So like, that's the next phase I want to go to. Because right now, I'm limited by my capital. I've been using my capital from my W-2 job and from my real estate portfolio, right? Because I just basically do cash out refinance, pull out my money to go buy my real estate. And I still will continue to do that. But if I get better deals, I want to, start to have other people's money that I'm paying interest rate on, right? Because there's people who want like a 10% return on their money. They want 10 to 12% return on their money without doing anything, about the headache of real estate. So if I can get those and my deal can support it, then that's how I'm going to scale even further in real estate. And like I said, for me, I'm not going to go crazy. Like I think, like I said, I've done a 25 unit. I think I comfortably double to 50 units and not struggle with that, right? Or I just continue to stay in my comfort range of that and then just do that over time because you just cash out refinance. For me, I don't want to pull out too much equity because I don't want my loans to be too big, but I pull out at least my initial money so I can keep on burying apartment